Hello and welcome back to my lair. So is my night off? As I tweeted on Twitter, I planned on watching Stephen King's 1983 The Dead Zone. Well, I watched this movie tonight. Obviously it's not a new movie, and I'm actually surprised that I've never seen it before because I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I've been reading his books since I was in the single digits. But really I watched this movie because I was so sorely disappointed with the show. Netflix recommended it to me and I figured 6 seasons of Stephen King? I'm down with that. But clearly it's not up to par with the movie, and that's why I'm doing this video blog. 10 reasons why 1983's movie The Dead Zone is better than the 2002 series of the same name. Number 1, Christopher Walken. The show is 100% completely devoid of Christopher Walken. The movie stars Christopher Walken. You do the math. Number 2, no strange religious subplot in the movie. When the show was created in 2002, as we all know, that was a post-9/11 world where the entire country, as well as, worldwide, was a little bit hyper-religious and kind of scared and trying to find comfort in their beliefs. And this movie, or this show, was like walking on eggshells, trying to not offend anyone, going so far away from Stephen King's book and the movie that it just felt so contrived. The apocalyptic subplot, the reverend that was in the show, it was all very strange. And even not having seen the movie, when I watched the show, I'm telling myself, this is not Stephen King. This is very weird. Number 3. The movie was made in the early 80s. I love anything from the early 80s, any visual media. It all has this amazing, newfound, awakenedness of finally coming out of the 70s and, opening your eyes and starting to wander the streets and get back to business. Number 4, and this is a big one. No strange Anthony Michael Hall looks. In the show, every time that Johnny, Anthony Michael Hall, gets a vision, he gets this strange, too long, overacted, melodramatic look on his face, like this. None of that in the movie. Number 5. I have an issue with continuity. Movies, shows, whatever. In the show, they switch out the boy in the last season with somebody that is fucking strange. This kid that looks nothing like the original actor bothers me. Even though somehow looks a lot like the kid in the movie. It's just so strange for me to look. I'm like, who is this kid? And he's so new to the show and working with the cast that he just acts like he shouldn't even be there. Number 6, keep going on with the kid factor. They do this really mean thing in the show, which is very generic sitcom-y, American kind of dramatic shit. And that is, they make Sarah's son actually biologically Johnny's. And she's raising him with Sheriff Bannerman, another character meld, which is her husband, that she got married to after Johnny went into his coma. And they're raising Johnny's child as their own, and they keep going on with this lie for a really long time, even though the child is getting to be a little up there in years. He's 10. I have a problem with that. In the movie, Sarah ends up, what's his face? Johnny, he's in the coma for 5 years. She moves on, she finds a new husband, and she has a baby with him. The baby's 10 months old when he wakes up. It's her baby. There's no yearning of this is my child and I can't tell him. And TV Sarah is a bitch. You can see the way she's rubbing in like, well, I'm raising your baby with Sheriff Bannerman and there's nothing you can do about it. Look, please, Johnny, just let me do this. I don't like TV Sarah. And number 7, in the movie, Sarah's husband, a little bit evil. I like that. In the show, he is Sheriff Bannerman, the nicest guy in the world who ends up befriending Johnny and then dying. He has to deal with Johnny becoming, his kid's dad again, and the kid having 2 dads, and he's cool with it, and he doesn't really want his wife hanging out with her former fiance, but he's like, whatever makes you happy, I'm okay with our relationship. It's not really Stephen King-esque. There's a lot of things that he would do, but that's kind of just cutthroat freaking soap opera shit is what that is. Number 8, Martin Sheen. Love that shit. Number 9, Johnny's powers become incredibly predictable after 6 seasons. It just gets so annoying. And then to know that every time he touches something and his powers are coming into effect, that he's going to have that look. And he's going to be on the screen just being weird for 15 seconds. Number 10, Stephen King. The movie actually very Stephen King-esque. Like, you could tell they actually cared about continuing on the vision of this amazing author. In the show, I feel like they took one aspect of one of his pieces of work and just took it and weaved it into this, like, boring, generic, predictable yarn. And that's my top 10 reasons why the movie, The Dead Zone, is better than the show. I personally am telling you, I would not spend, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't watch a single episode of The Dead Zone. But seeing Christopher Walken and Martin Sheen go head to head, I'd watch that any day.